Learning new things is one of my favorite things to do, so I guess that's why I became a teacher. But what do you do when students come to you and they're unmotivated and they're not ready to learn? In today's episode, I'm going to share with you one tool that I love to use for those unmotivated students. Stay tuned. I started using escape rooms when the pandemic hit. I needed to find something that was interesting for my students to want to come to a Zoom meeting or to participate in their homework. And escape rooms really did the trick. So when we went back to in-person learning, I decided to make even more escape rooms for the teachers in my building, and they loved it. So why use escape rooms? Well, one day after a fifth grade teacher had tried out one of the escape rooms in her classroom, she met me in the parking lot and she was like, I was so excited today because my students would rather do the escape room than go outside for recess. Now that's how I gauge success. If a student would rather be doing their work in class than go outside, then hey, we must be on to something. The way I see it, if students are having fun, then they're learning something. Even if it's something like soft skills like communication or collaboration, maybe critical thinking, those things. I'm okay with that because those are things that students need as they grow up. However, I know that they're learning so much more. Having fun, I've talked about it before in some of my blog posts, but having fun is critical when you're teaching your students. How do I know that? Well, brain research suggests that. So let's explore how the brain works. In this example, it's called the RAD litmus test. I want to show you how escape rooms can pass that test every time. First, the R stands for the reticular activating system. We need to find lessons that are stimulating and challenging. If those lessons that you have in your classroom are challenging to students, then something happens in the brain that helps students. And it stands for something that I can't even say and I don't even think I'm going to try. But with this filter, information passes through it. And if classroom experiences are free from stress, it'll pass through this filter and make for a great experience. So we have to find ways that we can create opportunities for stress-free learning. The D stands for dopamine. So when activities are pleasurable, the brain releases dopamine, which helps memory and attention. When you're trying to create a lesson, we want to find things that are stimulating for our students. We want to find ways that students can move around the room, they can learn new ways of receiving knowledge, and encourage questioning everything around them. We want them to be able to do that. This is why escape rooms are great, because depending on how you do this escape room, if you do it where the students are using printables, you can do it more where they're moving around the room. With digital, not as much, but because of the idea of students learning new ways of getting information, I think that's okay. Digital's fun because they're working in groups and they're working together. But if a teacher uses printables, they could do some activities where students would have to solve resources that are in a packet, then come to the teacher, give them the clue, and then move to the next thing. So you could do like stations. That would be a way to move them around the room. I love to use escape rooms to introduce new content. That is a great way to get students questioning. They're able to question, tell what they know about something, do a little bit of research, and then figure out if their questions were correct or incorrect, and add new wonderings to that fold. And so escape rooms definitely can do that. I have some that they learn about different types of animals or different types of holidays, and they can question what they know, what they don't know, and learn new information through video, through puzzles, and so forth. We also have to find things that are challenging, and I definitely believe escape rooms do the trick because they have to find their clues. And sometimes that can be very challenging for students. And sometimes we might even find that students get frustrated. And believe it or not, That's okay. Even though we talk about we want stress-free and we want a challenge, we want students to have to think critically. We want students to have to expand their brain. And so any type of challenge that we can provide them is great. Some of the challenges that students participate in are like puzzles, reading passages, answering questions. They have to ask questions about new videos that they're watching. They have to solve problems. They have to find their clues. So there's lots of different challenges that they'll face in the escape room. The third thing is lessons are free from stress. Now here's the deal. It could be a classroom management issue. It could be something that isn't going right that you thought was going to happen and it didn't. Kids are not really doing the things that they're supposed to be doing in their groups, and so that creates stress. So here are some things to think about. If you're having trouble with group work, then the first thing you need to do is just model and practice group work. One of the things that I love to do is called the fishbowl technique. With this technique, you ask a few students to get into a group with you while the other students watch, and you model for students how they would behave. So whatever the problems are, if they're arguing, what are ways that they can solve that together? What are some challenges that may arise? Sort of address those things within the group and show students how they would solve those problems. One of the biggest frustrations that happen with escape rooms is lack of planning. A lot of teachers do not go and try to make sure that the escape room works. So if you're going digital, then you definitely need to do this beforehand. You need to take a student device and you need to try out the escape room. You need to make sure that all of the things are coming up. For whatever reason, districts block things. So for example, if it works on yours, that doesn't mean anything. If it's on your device, it doesn't mean a thing. Because what happened like with our school is students would click on the link to open up a Google Slides. Well, because it was from organization that was created outside of the school domain, the students were blocked from it. The only way you could do anything about that was I have another option for you in the documents where you would create your own copy of it and then link it to a Google Slides web presentation. And that way it's coming from your domain and there are no problems. But if you don't do that work beforehand, then you're not going to know and you'll get a little bit frazzled, things aren't working, and you get stressed. And that causes a problem. And then you're like, I'm never doing digital escape rooms again. And while I totally get that, if you'll take about 5 minutes beforehand to figure it out, it's going to cause so much less headache for you in the long run. The fourth thing, lessons are pleasurable. Students love escape rooms. There's no doubt about that. But here's the deal. On a Facebook question that I asked one time, do you think play is necessary in the classroom? And one of the comments I got was, do you even have to ask that question? Well, yes. Yes, I do have to ask that question because unfortunately, most schools don't allow play anymore. They don't say the words, but their mandates show that they don't believe the importance of play in the classroom. Now, I'm not suggesting that digital escape rooms or escape rooms are play, like that's all they're doing is playing games. That's not it. They're learning valuable lessons and valuable standards throughout this whole activity, but it's in a fun and engaging way. And so I think that it's important that we find activities that hit that rad litmus test every time to do those types of activities in our classroom. Now, I know that not all lessons can be fun, but almost all of them could. With all of the ideas at your fingertips, pin-worthy strategies that you can implement in the classroom, there are so many great things out there that you can do with your students that will bring a little bit of fun into the classroom and pass that litmus test every single time. So I want to encourage you to take a look at escape rooms, try them out with your students, and just see the fun that you can have by reviewing skills, building background, creating a better opportunity for building vocabulary, and watch your students soar as they learn new things. And as always, if you like this video, click on the like button, share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell so that you can know every time I post a new video. Hope you have an amazing week, enjoy your class, and have fun.